Blood-soaked soil. My story. From early life in communist Yugoslavia to the first months of war. This book is dedicated to my son, Matteo Gaetano, who has become a better man than I could ever possibly dream. You, my son, you are the one who inspired me, schooled me, and provided me with energy from the moment you were born. About the author. Mario Beckes was born in Croatia in 1972, then part of the communist country of Yugoslavia. After unhappy childhood, he found himself in the center of Croatian War of Independence in the 1990s. He was 18. Mario went on to witness some of the most distressing scenes imaginable and spent 1,852 consecutive combat days, risking his life on a daily basis. He commenced his career serving in the Ministry of Interior, Special Forces, then transitioning to the Ministry of Defense, Military Police and Security Services for 7 years before working in Diplomatic Security Intelligence, Directorate 7, for the Croatian government. In 1998, he joined the Department of Foreign Affairs and Security Intelligence Services, with a secondment to the Consul General in Sydney for a further 5 years. During his extensive military and diplomatic career, Mario completed numerous courses, some of them in urban warfare, counterterrorism, intelligence, security protection, and other related fields in investigation and intelligence operations. Mario is proficient in 3 languages: English, Croatian, and Russian. He has written several books and articles on investigation, human intelligence, and information risk management, as well as hosting business radio show on Alive 90.5. Mario has conducted numerous internal and external investigations in corporate government sector in Australia and overseas, particularly in the field of human intelligence and the competitive business intelligence. Mario now runs a successful investigation and information risk company, Insight Intelligence Group, which he founded in 2003. He cites his son's held battles as a source of inspiration. Forward, Nick Hill. I first met Mario Beckes in 2014 when he and I worked together on a study looking at the personal information that business discard through their recycle bins and second-hand hard drives. As a seasoned marketing professional, I was helping to communicate the risk to the public, and Mario's team had done to investigate work collecting the data. Mario brings the biggest positive energy into a room out of anyone I have ever met. Since then, we have worked together on a number of different projects, and I have learned even more about the man through helping him to tell his incredible story. It has been a fascinating experience. A few months prior to meeting Mario, I visited stunningly beautiful city of Dubrovnik in Croatia. I learned a little about its recent wartime history. What struck me most was that I was at the university when the battles took place, and I remember watching them on the news. Until then, I had never considered, had I lived in Croatia in another life, I would have been heavily involved in the horrors of war rather than sitting in the cozy UK lecture hall. Reading this book, it's hard to imagine the hardship faced by people in Croatia and across former Yugoslavia during the conflicts, let alone the intensity of Mario's personal experiences. We are lucky to have Mario here to tell his story and inspire us with the knowledge that despite being involved in situations you will not wish on anyone, a person can come out with a positive attitude and seek to brighten people's days. I challenge everyone to read this book and imagine themselves as an 18 years old suddenly fighting the world has turned on its head with a hostile tank hurtling down the road towards you, with its self-confident captain crunching on apple. The mental scars will always run deep, but it's how you respond that defines you. Mario, thank you for writing this book and being a shining beacon for everyone around you. I look forward to the next installment and its further insights into your amazing life experiences. The boy who just wanted love and hug. I was that boy. The boy who from the age of 5 was being told, "You are nothing, you will be nothing, and no one cares for you." Welcome to the world of Mario Beckes. This is a true story. My story is based on true events, and I want to share this story with you in a simple way. English is not my first language. In fact, my English language skills are a disaster, even with a little help from my friends. I'm pretty sure you'll believe you have heard stories like mine. I contend you have not. However, for one simple reason, this is my life. These events happened to me, and my thoughts and my emotions are still very raw. The following events and accounts begin on the day I was born and continue until 1992. You could say it's a mixture of the blockbusters movies Saving Private Ryan, Jason Bourne, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I was born in 1972, the year of the rat. My story involves a lot of pain and not understanding as a child why I could not be loved. I was the boy who was wandering into the arms of those who would give me some attention. Unfortunately, I was always on the wrong side of the law, outcast by society and my parents. Not having friends and the choices I made as a child is what defines me today. I was born into one of the most fucked up countries on the planet, which appeared strong on the paper and existed almost 5 decades before disintegrating in just a few months. With it went all the beliefs that had been drilled into us as a young children. Imagine being born into a society that doesn't allow you to think, talk freely, or even desire some new Nike sneakers. The society I grew up in was communist, based on a hardcore discipline and being on constant alert from external enemies, while internal enemies was dealt by secret police and state security services. As a child, there was a sense of unease of living under Yugoslavian communist control. I witnessed the majority of my fellow countrymen wanting Croatia to become an independent country. However, there were many ethnic Serbs living there who were opposed to this. With support from Serbia, they started trying to claim our land for themselves to create a new Serbian state that included areas of Croatia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. This culminated in the Croatian War of Independence. This story does not involve a princess, a knight on a white horse, nor does involve dwarfs and unicorns. This is a story about growing up with the parents who don't want you, about making the wrong choices and hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was a thug and a thief. I was a terrible student in school, the worst of the worst. I could not complete my homework. I spent less time studying and more time on the street. Almost all my grades were barely a pass. I was a type of student parents told the kids, "Don't associate yourself with that Mario Beckes." It is true, I was that boy. The boy who was told from the age of 5, "You are nothing, you will be nothing, and no one cares for you." I have been through juvenile detention and military school and experienced the horrors of war. I have witnessed sheer destruction, death, suffering, and broken hearts. Through my childhood, I did things I don't want anyone to do. I was stealing from shops and from friends and fighting all the guys because I was bullying for being fat, round, and stupid. I knew I needed to make it my name on the streets. So I went to a local boxing club, which was basically only for bad boys. I was never built for football. Imagine me playing a striker. Instead, I learned how to fight. Boxing was my choice. I met guys who were there in the prison system. One day at a music concert, I was told to stab a guy with a screwdriver because he was looking at some girl. So, what did I do? At the age 13, I took the screwdriver and stabbed the guy twice, was arrested and placed in a juvenile detention center. And I deserve it. I was lucky that my grandfather worked his magic and I was able to leave after a few weeks. He was a high-ranking communist or police officer, a general. He was a moral, ethical, righteous man, and he truly believed in justice. He was a Croatian, believed in independent Croatia, even though nationalism was forbidden in Yugoslavia. This belief eventually cost him. He was then considered to be spying for the enemy, which was not true. This story is all about dreaming, imagining, and hoping. It's the story of the boy who dreamed about only one thing: love. And to be loved by parents, by friends, by a woman. Is this a love story? Yes, it is a love story. But it's not a love story where the princess is in castle waiting for her prince. Oh, there is a woman. And that woman has forever marked my existence. She gave me a purpose for my future. In one simple stroke of pen, we become enemies, simply because we belong to different nationalities. We were separated by 100 kilometers of pure hate, anger, vengeance, and desire to destroy each other. I was 18 years old and I wanted to die. Not because I was not loved, but because I could not be with the one I loved. This story may be full of uncertainty, full of horror stories and unhappiness. But in spite of that, there's always something there, something you should always believe exists. And that is a hope. Trust me, one thing I can prove is that miracles do exist. All the tools you need to be happy, successful, and loved are inside of you, inside all of us. Perhaps after reading my story, you will see that you don't need gurus, influencers, and life or business coaches. You can be one yourself.